Okay, session 3. Let's carry on, viewers.
I'm looking forward to trying to become the best person I can be amongst a wonderful new community of people that I just love. So, yeah.
You've mentioned a few very, very important points that I think it's worth highlighting. I think you highlighted the fact that it wasn't necessarily, even though it of course has a part to play, evidence and argumentation, that's one thing, but ultimately at the end of the day it's tawfiq. Yeah, it's the will of God, and it's something that, I mean, you described it as a feeling, right? It's that's what it comes down to in the end. It's a person taking that step. It's a person being sincere, and then God guiding that person. Yes, evidences and arguments can definitely support a person, but ultimately it's going to be that sincerity and that connection. So if somebody is watching and they are on the cusp or on the verge, I would say just where you are at home, you don't have to light candles, wear a cloak and do a ceremony. You can literally just raise your hand like this and say, God, wherever you are, whoever you are, if you're there, guide me, assist me, help me, and just be open. Don't let the propaganda permeate your heart and mislead you into making the wrong decision. And the second,
Okay, so let's deal with feelings. Are feelings fallible? Yes. Feelings are real, but they are not infallible, and this is where people go wrong. Feelings can alert us to danger, reveal desires, expose fears, signal unresolved responses, highlight values and priorities, but feelings can also be influenced by fatigue, trauma, anxiety, hormones, social pressure, incomplete information, wistful thinking, mental illnesses, fear of consequences. A feeling can be genuine and still be wrong as a guide. Examples: feeling afraid does not necessarily mean you're in danger. Feeling guilty does not necessarily mean you are guilty. Feeling in love does not necessarily mean the relationship is wise. Feeling certain does not necessarily mean you are correct. The biblical perspective: Scripture repeatedly treats feelings as important but insufficient. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Jeremiah 17:9. There is a way that seems right to a person, but its end is the way of death. That's feelings on the negative side. Proverbs 14:12. Another biblical pattern is feeling, examine, test, verify, decide. I'm going to say that again. The biblical pattern: feelings, examine, test, verify, decide. Now, this gentleman's not encouraging that, is he? You just can't have the feeling and then follow. That's not safe. You must have the feeling, examine, test, verify, and decide. Not just feeling, then blindly follow. Unfortunately for Muhammad, he thought he was revealing the truth, but he completely missed the Messiah, the one that he originally wanted to follow. So feelings aren't enough.
second thing that you said, you highlighted the fact that you weren't forced. It's only when you asked for something you were given it. So this is something very interesting that maybe some people may not necessarily get, which is you can't walk someone's path for them. When you support somebody on the path and they're walking it, and yes, every now and then they may slip or they may lose sight of where they're going, and if somebody is there available, that is probably more effective than trying to walk it for them, because
Yeah.
ultimately
Yeah.
if they're walking the path for you and the time comes they for some reason have to go, then a person is left as an without any support, as an invalid, and they
Yeah.
are so dependent on said person. So yeah, definitely a very, very important points for a lot of us to learn from your journey, Catherine. And you mentioned also about the people of Gaza. You said you'd seen them going
Yeah.
through a lot. What in particular would you say that really kind of got to you? Because somebody watching might say, look, there's so many atrocities that are going on across the world. What was it in particular that really drew you in about the people of Gaza?
I can't, the strength, the courage, to see people go through the unimaginable and to still be strong, to say, no, we're not leaving, we're staying where we are. It was just astounding, and to see people praying to God in the most horrific of times, where other people may lose faith in God, to have that faith in God. And I thought, what incredible, deep, spiritual people, and that they can draw their strength in God despite going through things that you just couldn't possibly imagine going through. And I am in awe of that, actually. Yeah.
Now, does she realise it was the Islamic ideology that's brought the chaos onto Gaza? Now, you can try and blame Israel all you like, but Israel's tried to live in peace, and something I said earlier in one of the other talks is that there's 2 million Muslims that live in Israel. 2 million. 2 million Muslims live in Israel. I don't know how many people are aware of that. Israel's a democracy. Okay? There's 2 million. Now, what happened is, in 2005, they decided that the Palestinians can have Gaza. They had to pull the Israelis out by the hair. They dug up the graves and got as many Israeli corpses out of there as they could. Palestine was given billions upon billions of dollars to try and allow them to build it into a Singapore or a Dubai or somewhere like that. They had every opportunity to do that. Hamas, the government, right? This is what they don't tell you. Most anybody with common sense would know. So the whole stage is set. The Israelis have been pulled out. They've gone, well, okay, yous have it, and we'll go into Israel, what's left, because that was part of Israel, and see how yous go. What did they do? They turned it into a terror territory. They pushed and pushed and aggravated and pushed, fired missiles, rockets, all the rest of it into Israel. Israel retaliated. Who caused the trouble? Hamas. Israel, like any other country, has got every right to defend itself. But at what expense was it? It was at the expense of their own people. They didn't need to attack Israel. They had everything they ever wanted. People talk about a two-state solution. Well, it wasn't put on paper, but they were given the place in 2005. 700 kilometres of terror tunnels, billions of dollars worth of rockets and everything fired towards Israel. Israel had to build a super sophisticated defence system. And these people aren't going to be happy until Israel's destroyed. There's 2 million, I'll say it again, there's 2 million Muslims that live in Israel peacefully. So what was the trouble? These people aren't going to tell you the trouble was the Islamic ideology. And it won't stop, and it won't change, and it won't integrate in any Western world. It'll just overtly appear to be integrating and all the rest of it, but covertly, the Islamic ideology is a takeover ideology.
So definitely, a couple of weeks ago, I think I met 2 gentlemen at Speaker's Corner, and they said very similar things to yourself, that seeing the strength of people that are suffering completely and utterly unimaginable atrocities known to man, and we're seeing it on our social media on a very regular basis.
But see, this is victim mentality. Because what they're saying is we can cause trouble, Hamas can cause trouble and bring it down on their people, and they're entitled to blame everybody else. That's a victim narrative, a severe victim narrative. And it's horribly dangerous, and people fall for it. It's terribly dangerous.
In the most uncensored of forms. I mean, we're not reliant upon mainstream media in this day and age, where we would literally get clips from the ground. We'd see it on X and the like. So even people, even Muslims that are suffering, when they hold on to their faith, it's a means of inspiration for so many. When people want.
Now, I can assure you, viewers, I can absolutely assure you, why was Iran firing missiles into neighboring Muslim countries while America was targeting specific military sites? Why was Iran just randomly firing missiles in all directions into Muslim countries that was supposed to be their allies? Because there's Muslims being hurt by Muslims more than what they are by anybody else. And there's Muslims damaging people more than anybody else. And that's undeniable. You can argue and kick and scream and make out they're just being... That is rubbish.
Wonder like what khair or good can come out of that. I mean, this is an example of that the strength of such people can give strength to
the strength of such people. Viewers, Hamas are kneecapping with guns the young Palestinian men. They're blowing their kneecaps through with guns if they don't submit. They're lining up and shooting Palestinians in the streets. And they're making out Israel are the monsters. Israel will bomb sites that are demonstrating military action. I mean, if Hamas was working on Australia's coastline like they did Israel's, we'd be doing the same. But we've got no comprehension of how all this really works. They haven't mentioned Hamas once. It's a very covert conversation and one-sided.
Many other people and help them. It's something that is not very common in this day and age, frankly. But absolutely, so many people have benefited and are continuing to benefit from our brothers and sisters in Gaza. So Catherine, was there anything else that maybe perhaps you wanted to add on? I don't want to constantly,
I think so. Because I am very, I live at home with my daughter, and I'm sort of on my own, and so it's been a journey that I've taken. It's been solitary, apart from the help that I've received from others. But I've been trying to learn a little bit of Arabic, and but I sort of listen to other people's stories, and there were people saying it really is better for you just to revert. Don't feel that you need to know everything, because I think that was my worry. I thought, I can't recite the daily prayers. I can't do that. And does that mean? And I thought, no, because I think Allah would know that I'm trying to do my best, and that it will come in time. And as long as I'm dedicated, then I will be okay. I'm going to a mosque today, my local mosque, and I'm thrilled about that, because it will give me a chance to integrate and meet other sisters and brothers. So that will be good, I think, because so far it's been a very solitary journey, and I think I'm ready to step out into the world. Yeah.
Step out into the world of Islam. Now, it's interesting. Most religions will tell you just to convert, you don't need to know everything. And Islam's definitely one of those, because you don't have to go too far into the Quran before you start to see that Allah is not all merciful at all, that he will punish, and he'll want his people to punish those that aren't playing the game, the doctrine.
Absolutely. And this is the thing. Absolutely. And this is one of the things that people do like about Islam, the community aspect of Islam, the fact that a lot of quite a few acts of worship are community based. And definitely this is something that for somebody, I mean, it's very strange. UK is one of those countries. Obviously, yourself, you have an autistic child, and I don't want to delve too much into your kind of family kind of experience, but many people that are going through and living the nuances of their life sometimes do feel kind of separate and don't reach out. And there is a very kind of English thing of just kind of getting on with it. Not, we're not exactly known to kind of, it's not like New Yorkers, everyone saying hi to each other, or there is a very kind of interaction. We're kind of known, especially here, especially in England or London in particular, of being antisocial. And it is something that, is both a positive and a negative as well, because we are one of the few countries that we actually have a minister of loneliness. There's an epidemic of loneliness here in the UK, and it is because there is a lack of kind of community and cohesion. And that's why now, with the World Cup and England playing sports and these sorts of things, or going to the pub, are ways of bringing people together, but they're not substantial, right? They're not something that.
So let's just hold that there and the World Cup, let's just have a look. That's just one footage of a stadium, one stadium. There's much larger stadiums than this. Would you say that's people coming together or not? I'll let you make your mind up on that.
Of, and slowly incremental changes, if a person brings those in, and certain things might seem like, what, that seems very difficult. However, there is a prayer mat, literally has what you're going to recite in prayer. It's there, literally written in front of you in transliteration.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
So just like when we start the prayer, we say Allahu Akbar, then we say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Now that might sound like, whoa, how am I going to...
Now, I'll say something here as I bring this one to a close. Allah Akbar, I don't care how they pronounce it, what it means, or all the rest of it, but to me it's directly connected to terrorism. because all the violence, the stabbings, the bombings, the terrorism and whatnot, it's all done under the yelling and the screaming of Allah Akbar. Our Prime Minister went to the Lakemba Mosque and they went ballistic singing out Allah Akbar. He was a putrid dog and all the rest of it. No, I'm going to wrap this up here. I don't think we're going to get any more further than what we have. I hope you enjoyed it. If I was you, I would, as I said, don't follow feelings, examine, test, verify, then decide. Don't just feel and follow, because that could end up anywhere. I'm Pro Theologist. Bye for now.